Hey Radiant, it's your Wednesday morning devotion, and we're going to look at a verse from 1 Peter today that encouraged me a little while ago, and we're just going to go through it line by line, and I'll talk through it. So, 1 Peter 5:10 from the NIV translation. I'll read it through one time from start to finish. It says, "And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast." Now this short little verse is just packed with truth and packed with encouragement. I've been looking at it, studying it for the last hour for this video, not because I'm that holy that I just look at one verse for 1 hour, but I'm just trying to make a good video. And the more I've looked at this verse, the bigger it's gotten. And it's just kind of blowing my mind right now. So I color-coded it. This is the height of my creative expression is a different color for each line. So I'm going to read each line and make a few comments. And so we'll just kind of meditate on it together. Okay. And the God of all grace is how it starts off. And I like the NIV translation because it starts off with this title. And I think this could be the title of the whole verse, actually. The God of all grace. Grace could be the word that best summarizes the whole gospel message. Grace is more than just forgiveness of sins. It's the favor that we receive in Christ, and it's the power that we receive in Christ to overcome and to live the life that he's called us to live. So the God of all grace, whatever happens to us, whatever we encounter in this life, we have a God of all grace who's going to equip us. Okay, and then it goes on. Who called you to his eternal glory in Christ. Now that we have this picture of who God is in the first line, now this is a reminder of our future. We have a guaranteed good future in Christ. And that's super grounding when we're facing something hard to remember that our future is going to be good. Because of Jesus, because of what he bought on the cross, we have a guaranteed future glory. That's what it means by eternal glory, that we're going to have it forever. We're going to experience his pleasure, his presence forever because of Jesus. Okay, so we see this picture of God. He's the God of all grace. We have a reminder of our good future. Then, this middle part, we have a kind of a reality check of the context. This is actually the context of the whole letter of 1 Peter. It's written to people who were suffering really intense persecution and going through really bad trials. And so it says, after you have suffered a little while. And this is actually encouraging to me because we do go through suffering. We're constantly going through different kinds of trials in this life. And anyone that paints a different picture of Christianity is lying or not giving us the full truth. And if we've been sold a different version, like come to Jesus and all your problems will go away, or we hear the testimony of the person who prayed the prayer at the altar and then their life was just amazing from then on. It's actually discouraging in the long run because we're bound to encounter hardships. And the reality of this life is that it is a wilderness in the big picture. We're going to have eternal glory in the long run, but it's a wilderness in the meantime. So what's God doing in the meantime? And that's the next couple lines of this verse. It says, after you have suffered a little while, he will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. So these last few promises of the verse are so great. It says they're given to us from himself. God himself will give us these things. And these are a picture of what God's going to do to our character. Sometimes the thought of our character being refined isn't always encouraging. It feels like, well, can't you just make the pain go away? But from God's perspective, it's what matters. It's everything to him. Having a character that's pleasing to him, having a heart that pours out love and faith and hope is what he's looking for at the end of the day. So he promises to restore us. That's a picture of him putting us back together when we've been broken through suffering. He's going to make us strong. That's giving us an inner resolve where we don't give in to temptation and trial. He's going to make us firm. That's a heart that doesn't give up in the midst of trial. And then finally, he's going to make us steadfast. And that Greek word literally means to lay a foundation. That he's going to lay such a foundation that we can have peace in the midst of the storm. So read this verse. It's full of so much encouragement. I'm going to finish by just reading it in the Message, which is quite a bit different, but I like the way that Eugene Peterson renders this. The suffering won't last forever. It won't be long before this generous God, who has great plans for us in Christ, eternal and glorious plans they are, will have put you together again and on your feet for good. He gets the last word. Yes, he does. Amen, guys. We'll see you later.